I know if you are in Jos, you'll be feeling like your bed is the most comfortable place to be because the weather is just so friendly, but just friendly for you to just be at home. It's just like you just want to be home. You don't want to go out. You don't want to, do anything because everywhere is so cold. And some people are feeling like the cold weather is not comfortable. But I think I prefer the cold weather than when it comes to heat and all that. But then it makes you so lazy to the extent that you don't want to go out. But we always want to motivate you and tell you that you need to get up, go out, and just make yourself useful and make your day useful. So that is what I would still say. If you're still at home, you're not doing, anything, or you're thinking today is the day you need to just stay at home and just be in your blanket. Money they pass you for outside, or you need to go out, you need to do something. Okay, this is the Morning Drive live on ECWA Television International. My name is Magdalene Azal, and today I want to talk about something I really like because I think in most of my topics are always touch in, being productive, and then how highly some people are productive. And then I think not too long I talked about how some people, when you give them something to do, they just make it so easy and so fast to the extent you'll be like, huh? I was thinking this thing was going to take a whole day, but you just did it in no time and then it came out this well. And don't forget, if you are a productive person, you make things work faster. But the fact that you make things work faster, what you do, are they actually, of good quality? What you do, it is not all about you delivering, but what you deliver, is it something that, is of good standards. You have to be sure of that for you to say, okay, you are a truly productive person. And most times people just keep saying, I'm a busy person, I'm a busy person, I'm a busy person, but they don't really, it is more like it is more in the mouth than in the action. So you have to differentiate you being very productive and then you being actually productive, because just the way I said, some people just say it in the mouth, but they don't really, put the action. And then some people they won't even say anything, just give them something to do, and then they have done it already. So what kind of person are you? You have to differentiate it. And if you're just the person who sits down to just say, I'm a productive person without doing anything, you need to rethink. You need to make things happen. Okay. Have you seen colleagues that, like they just do things in an easy way, and then you ask yourself, hey, is it not the same task they gave us, or is it not the same brain we all have, or is it not the same time we started this thing? So why is this thing different? It is the way their mind is being set to do things. Okay, so you should also know that, as in, even with the fact that you want to be productive, you should know that there are so many things you need to do to keep yourself productive. Okay, and then there are sometimes there are people who don't really know what distracts them when they are trying to be productive, because definitely distraction must come, either you like it or not. You can't be in a whole day, you can't exist in a whole day and then you think you're a serious person, you want to be productive or you want to do something, and you think no distraction will come to you, no matter how you want to stay away from distractions, they still would find their way. But it is only when you try to know what your distraction is and then stay away from them, when you try to see them coming, that you can overcome distraction. How would you overcome distraction when it comes to productivity? Just the way I said, so many people don't really know what their distraction is. So you have to write down, like when you're busy doing something and then something happens that takes you off, your focus, then you should know that that is a distraction for you. You have to write it down so that when next it happens, you get to know that, okay, that was what happened the other time and I was not able to achieve what I was supposed to achieve. Just the way, I talked about how you'll be given something like maybe with your colleagues to do, but they would do faster than the way you would do it, and you'll be thinking, isn't it the same thing they gave us, or isn't it the same time they gave us? Why is it that they are faster than I do, or why is it that they are done and I'm still halfway done? So you have to know that apart from the fact that our brain works differently, you should know that there are distractions actually that keep you away from achieving what you want to achieve at a particular time. So you have to know them, write them down, and when you get to see them next time, you will know that, okay, that was actually one of the things that distracted me, that I was not able to do what I was supposed to do. And in as much as you want to be a productive person, don't just sit down and say, I am a productive person, and I do this, I do that, and you just like, it is more like just the way, like so many people just sit down to define productivity just based on the whole, in a day I did this, in a day I did that, in a day I did what, in a day I did, like, it is more like, have you checked your priority list? You have to have a priority list. It can be long, it can be short time, but you have to check your priority list. I know sometimes when we talk about having a list, people will be like, this is not that serious. But actually, if you want to achieve, I was watching Steve Harvey, and then one time he talks about how, if you want to achieve, if a successful person has to have a vision, and then the vision has to be written down. You have to always see your vision. You have to always see those things you want to achieve. Like, you have to always see them. He said you can read them in the night and then read them in the morning, just for you to keep, you're reminding yourself that, okay, I have something in front of me that I need to achieve, and I must achieve them. Now, talking about productivity, if you want to be productive in a day, you have to write the list of what you want to achieve, and then you start with the most prioritized one. And most times, I think people just want to, okay, I did this thing, I did that one, I did that one, just counting what they did without, putting the fact that maybe what they did is not even what they should do at that time, which is even actually a waste of time. So, in being productive, you have to, for the fact that you're managing time, it doesn't mean that, okay, because they gave you this thing to finish in one time, and maybe in 1 hour, you finished it in 20 minutes, that is you managing the time. What you are being given to do as a whole in a day, is it the most prioritized one that you started with, or the least? And then why are you starting with the least prioritized project or maybe goal of the day? Most people is because of the fact that they are scared to start the big one, because they just feel it's too big for them to handle. But I would always say, have confidence in yourself, have belief in yourself, and then be hopeful that what you're going to do, or what your imagination will give you, will come to realization. And even when it comes to realization, it will be an authentic one. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in what the outcome, trust me, nobody will believe it. So you have to, be sure of yourself, be confident of yourself, and then, just start it, and it will come a long way. If you want to start something that is big, as I would always say, make sure you start it little by little. Okay, start it little by little. Like, you have different projects you want to do in a day, and then the most of the least is like you just feel it's too big for you, but then you have to start with it, because if you stay away from it, you are not going to learn it. Like, you have to do it, even if you go wrong, even if you go right, at the end of the day you still have to do it. So why not just try it, and then see where you go wrong, and then see where you did right, and then try to mold yourself into being a better person. Because either you like it or not, when you're doing something, in your wrongs, in your right, it still motivates you to do something. So it still motivates you to do more, because when you go wrong, you want to correct it, and when you go right, you want to follow those steps that you've done that is wrong, and I mean that is right, and to keep having more successes. Because when you have success and you keep in that direction, you get more successes. So in everything you're doing, just make sure that you don't get so scared of your project. Don't get so scared of the things that probably at the end of it you'll be like, this is so small. There are so many times myself, I go scared of some things, and I just felt like, if I start this thing, am I sure it will go, I will finish well? It is okay for you to think that way, because we are humans, and then sometimes there are things that we just feel like they are over us. But in everything, that is why I would always say on this program, always go back to God, pray to God, and then listen to Him. Trust me, when you listen to God, there is no way, He would not give you like a way out. Like recently, there was something I thought it was that big, and then after I did it, I said it out loud in the office. I was like, wow, I actually thought this thing was that big. And then somebody said, it is actually the grace of God. So sometimes we just talk about, like, we just take the grace of God for granted. We don't really, some things will just come to us so easy, to the extent that we just don't feel like, okay, this thing was actually, that big, without forgetting the fact that we prayed to God. And then He actually listens to us. And instead of us to come and say, okay, thank you, Jesus, for everything, thank you, God, and then we'll just be like, I was thinking that thing was even big. Self is not even big. It is actually this easy. But it wasn't. Trust me, it wasn't going to be easy. God made it easy. So we have to recognize that, okay? So you have to always go back to God when you have something to do. You always have to, ask for His wisdom, because it doesn't lead astray. It will lead you directly to your path. So you have to always go back to God. And another thing I want us to talk about is, if you want to be productive, I think I said it just, yesterday, if you want to be productive, you have to take breaks. And in taking break, sometimes we mistaken break, or we mistaken distractions as break. There are some times that maybe you have something you're doing, you're not really even tired, but you just feel like, let me just take a little break, and then just check my social media handles, or just check on some other things, then come back to it. At least I need to relax, because they said you have to relax, or you have to take a break for you to be more productive. And before you know it, the time has gone. You've not done what you are supposed to do, which means is even distraction, not break. For you to have a break when you're doing something productive is for you to set a time. Tell yourself that, okay, and you have to be sure that, okay, you need a break. Okay, you have to be sure you need a break. You have to be sure that your mind is telling you that you need a break. So when you need a break, give yourself time. Time yourself and say, okay, when I go for the break, maybe by so time to so time, I will come back to this project and do what I am supposed to do. And at that very time, you need to come back and do what you're supposed to do, because a productive person is definitely a disciplined person. If you're not disciplined, you can't be productive, because there are so many things that go hand in hand with being productive and being disciplined. Okay, so many things may come to you to entice you, to make you just want to have a little longer break than usual, or than what you're supposed to have. But you have to be disciplined to the extent that you have a task ahead of you, you have something you need to do, and you have to go back to it. Then you go back to it, no matter what the distraction is. So you have to know what you want, and then have to know how to get it. And if you know what you want and how to get it, definitely you are going to be productive. And at this time, I will want us to take our video for the day, and when we come back, I'll still talk about being productive and what you should do to keep yourself productive.
Okay, my name is Joseph, Omo Joseph. I used to do oil business for almost 35 years now. But the market is not moving. We used to sell gas, kerosene, engine oil, golden super, Mobi and Masco. But the market is not moving now like before. So, but everything now, we want government to help us. We used to stay inside rain and sun, but no market. So we want everybody has small money. We start small things, small, so that the business will move. Yes, even employment. Akwende susura zama ba kaswa, but if they stay, nobody will help them. But they they will get small thing. Yes, that is the business. So the challenges we have now, the market is not moving like before. Everything is cost. Yes. So rain is too much again. No zinc, no shop, nothing. We used to say on the sun. The sun will not stop me finding my own business. Whether it's sun, rain, I will come out and find the business. Yes.
Thank you for watching our video for the day. I hope the video motivated you to get up, go out and look for something doing. Remember, na hand we walk go chop. Oh, if you sit down for house, I can't help you. All right. And we are still talking about productive people and then being productive. And one of the things that will make you, to be productive is for in the process of doing something. There are some times that you see like every day of your every time of your day, you would find out that probably you're doing something repeatedly, and then to the extent that you just get so used to it. And instead of you just, always following the long cuts of the things that you've been doing, there are some days that you just know how to do those things, and then you just have like some kind of shortcuts to doing it. If you don't know how to use shortcuts, please don't do it. But you have to. But sometimes it just comes natural because you're used to doing it, and there are some things or mistakes you've done before that when you see them, you avoid them, and it just makes your work so easier and faster. So that is the kind of shortcuts we're talking about, but not just mixing things and then say, okay, this is the shortcut. No, you have to know what you're doing for you to be able to use your shortcuts. Because for real, anytime you're doing something, you keep doing it repeatedly, it will get to a time that it just masters in your head, that when you see it or when you come across it, you know the things to do. Nobody needs to tell you what to do. And then there are sometimes, like, even before you even start from here, you know already what is there, so you just know how to just go about things, and then it just goes easy for you. So if you are that kind of person, it is okay. But if you don't know how to use shortcuts, please, shortcuts has to do with you and your thinking, how you can do things right. So if you know you can't do it right, just leave it and just focus on making yourself better, or making what you're supposed to do come out the best way it can come out. Learn from successes as well as mistakes, just the way I said. You have to learn about how you did these things, and where you went wrong, how you did it right, so that when next you come in contact with those things, it will just be easier for you. And plan for when things go wrong. So many times people don't really plan on when things go wrong. They just plan on how I must achieve this thing. I must achieve this thing. I want this thing to, work for me. To the extent that they forget the fact that even in their quest, even in their, their urge to do things right, trust me, things may go wrong. What if they go wrong? What do you fall back at? You have to know that, you have to have a plan B on how to do things. If you want to be productive, you have to have a plan B. Because if you want to be productive and then you don't have a plan B, and then the plan A spoils, then everything goes back to, from the beginning. And sometimes it's not even just from the beginning. Sometimes it crashes and then there's no way out, because you didn't even plan for the next thing that can happen. So you always have to plan for when things go wrong. Don't be negative in your thinking, definitely. But just give, it is like, especially in business, there are risks. Sometimes even in things you just try to invent, or things you just try to do, there are so many risks attached to them. So if you're doing it, you can just give a little room for the fact that they may not go exactly the way you're planning them to go. So what if they don't go that way? What happens? So you have to know that you have to work towards making sure you have a plan B, and then work before you get motivated or inspired. I know so many people will just sit there and say there's nothing motivating them, and that is why they are not doing anything, or they don't have the inspiration, or like, why must you sit down for people to inspire you? Why must you sit down for something to inspire you? Start doing something and they get inspired in it. Trust me, that is the best way to be productive. When you start something, it makes you want to do more. But when you don't start, you've not started. So how can you even want to even do more? Because you've not even started anything. So you have to know that if you want to be productive, in fact, as a person in general, you have to know that you have to start something. Because if you don't start, what am I going to motivate you about? I can just keep telling you, do this thing, do this thing, do this thing. You might not do it because you just feel like it is not it for you. But you have to motivate yourself before another person's motivation can get to you. But if you don't motivate yourself, trust me, I don't know what you're expecting from people. Even though there are some people who when you just meet them and talk to them once, they will just listen to you and then start it. But what if you are not that type of person? What if your motivation is you? Because there are so many people that people have talked to them, but nothing really works, because it is their mind that is supposed to get set and just start, but they are delaying it, thinking they need other people out there to help them or help their mind work, when they are the ones who are supposed to put their mind into action or into doing the thing that they are supposed to start, or the things that they are supposed to do. So don't wait for people to motivate you. Just motivate yourself and start doing something. And in need, you will still keep having so many motivations, because people are going to tell you how good you are in doing that thing. And then even you yourself, there's this joy in accomplishing something that people get to have that motivates them. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just feel like if I'm doing something and I'm convinced that I'm doing it well, there's this motivation to just keep doing it, even for the fact that sometimes people don't give you the credit, or people don't give you exactly what you would want them to give, maybe like the words of "you are doing well, Magdalene." Even if they don't tell you, for the fact that you're doing it and you're doing it well, give yourself the credit and then just keep moving on. Just keep doing what you're doing. And don't forget to always fill up the tank. Highly productive people spend time recharging. That means getting enough sleep every night, exercising, and eating healthy. You see, I always talk about eating healthy. I don't think there's any topic I've talked about here without talking about eating healthy, sleeping well, because all those things are contributing factors to the extent and to being productive or not being productive. So you have to know that you need to be productive as a person. For you to be productive as a person, you need to eat well, sleep well, and then exercise your body. And another thing is, again, manage your energy. And that will be the last one I want to talk about. You remember I talked about managing time, right? And then people keep managing time without managing their energy. So many times, like if you're managing your time, okay, maybe they gave you something to do, you're trying to manage the time, and then do it at the appropriate time, and then give the result at the appropriate time, right? And then there are people who they have what to do, but they will not prioritize what they are doing. They will just start with the little ones and then get overwhelmed with it, because I trust me, there is nothing like a small work. Because you can see something as small work, when you start it, it will just open up to be a big thing. What you're supposed to do at this moment, is that what you're supposed to do at the moment? We know we have long-term and then short-term plans. In your long-term plan, are you trying to manage your time well? Or in your short-term plan, are you trying to manage your time well to do things you need to do right now? Or you're putting your energy into things that you will not be needing now? It is things that you will need later that you're channeling your energy into. And then you just get so tired and overwhelmed. Then when you're supposed to do the right thing, you don't have the energy no more. And sometimes my dad will say that all these young people, how I wish you guys can understand that God needs you right now to do what you're supposed to do for him now, not just when you are worn out, and that is when you will say, okay, I want to come back to God, and I want God to use me now. He said you need to understand that this is the time and you need to do it, and that is managing your energy. If you start it now, and then before you get to that old age, you know what you have accomplished already, even in the kingdom of God. So you should know that even also in your businesses or whatever idea you have, you need to learn how to manage your energy so well, so that when you need to do the main thing, you have some energy reserved that you can use it at the appropriate time. All right, this is where I would draw the curtains for today. I really do appreciate you all for watching, and then keep watching Equa TV International, because we have a lot of programs coming your way, subsequently, from the dailies, to so many programs that will be coming your way. So keep watching Equa TV International. I will see you tomorrow again by 8 a.m.